the most tackles. They also missed the fewest tackles in the league. That wasn't just because they made the fewest though, they tackled at a higher success rate than any other side. They were the only ones to average over 93% tackle success rate. They made the most attacking kicks in the league and made meters at the best average gain, 7.68 meters per carry over the whole regular season. Conversely, they allowed the fewest attacking kicks from their opponents compared to the rest of the league. They forced their opponents to make more tackles than any other Super League side. That probably helped with that average gain we talked about. They did, however, force the fewest errors out of their opponents of all the sides. Individual stars backed up the same strengths that the team was able to display. No player who played more than 5 times in the regular season has a better tackle success rate than Chris Hill's 98.3% success rate. Of all the players who made over 100 regular season carries, dynamic hooker Darryl Clark had the best average gain with 9.6 meters per carry. Rampaging back row forward Ben Murdoch-Masila was second in that category with 9.3 meters per carry. Clark was also the top tackle maker in the regular season with 882. It's now the turn of Castleford Tigers to get their SLP regular season stat attack run through. Cass faced the least amount of opposition carries of any side, and complementary to that, they gave up the fewest meters in the Super League regular season. They also gave up ground at the lowest average gain, allowing just 6.65 meters per carry from their opponents. Conspiracy theorists down the lane might like this one. The Tigers were awarded fewer penalties than any other side over the course of the 23 rounds. Cass's top try scorer after the regular season is now departed Jai Hitchcocks with 10. Hooker Paul McShane and young half Jake Truman share the top assist maker spot at Cass. McShane has been busy both ways this year so far, ending up with the second highest total tackles in the regular season, just behind Wire's Darryl Clark. Tigers fans may not want us to mention this one. One game winger Gary Lowe ended up with the joint highest average carries per game figure. His 18 carries in his one appearance was equalled by John Bateman, who kept his average up over 18 appearances. Into the top 2, as Wigan Warriors are the latest side to get the SLP regular season stat attack treatment. The stats show two things. Wigan's right edge puts in a shift and Wigan's left edge takes all the glory. John Bateman will be missed next year, primarily used at right centre or right second row in the regular season. No player has made more carries per game than Bateman's 18. Now, no player who played more than once has made more offloads per game than Bateman's 2.6. His 47 was the most total offloads of any player in the 23 rounds. He made almost a quarter of all of Wigan's offloads. Tom Davies, Wigan's right winger for all but 4 of the regular season games, was third overall in carries per game with just under 18 per game. Only 2 players have made more meters than him all year, and Davies has made his ground at a better average gain than both of them. He made more meters per game than any other player with 153. He was the only man to go over 150 meters per game in the regular season. However, Wigan's left wing position scored at a try per game rate during the regular season. Only St Helens fullback position scored more tries than Wigan's left wing position. Sam Tompkins is another who'll be leaving Wigan. He's one of only 5 players in the league to make regular season double figures in both tries and assists, and one of only 2 of those that weren't St Helens players. Sean Wayne will be happy to find out that his final regular season as Wigan coach saw them make the least handling errors of all 12 sides, only 222, nearly 70 fewer than Leeds, who made the most. Wigan's attack had the second most carries and the second most clean breaks during the regular round, so overall the attack wasn't as bad as it may have ended up being perceived after 23 rounds. They made a strong defensive showing, second fewest points against, second fewest tries conceded, second fewest tackle busts given up, and second fewest offloads allowed. They were only just behind Wire in team tackle success rate too. Wigan kept hold of being the best second half team in the league, despite a dip after Magic. They had a plus 199 points difference in the second half of games in this year's regular season. The last SLP regular season stat attack run through will give us the breakdown on the special numbers that helped St Helens lead the way to this point. Of the 14 players to appear in each regular season round, Saints had 6 of them. Theo Farge, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, Luke Thompson, Dominic Peyroux, Danny Richardson and Regan Grace. They all obviously had the most wins in Super League with 21. Saints used the fewest players in Super League with only 24 players appearing in the regular season for them. Of the 14 players to have not tasted Super League defeat in 2018, Alex Walmsley of Saints played the most games with 5. Matty Costello and Jack Ashurst also went through the regular season with 100% records, but only playing 2 and 1 game, respectively. St Helens, unsurprisingly, had a number of league leaders across the regular season stats. Ben Barber was the top try scorer with 23 tries in 19 outings, a strike rate of 1.2 tries per game, which was the best of any player playing a double-figure amount of games. He was also second in try assists with 22. Obviously then, he leads the way in combined tries and assists with 45. Saints hold the top 3 places in that count, with Mark Percival second on 29 and Johnny Lomax third with 27. Percival ended the regular season with more tackle busts than anyone else, 139. That also gave him the best tackle bust per game rate of 6.6 per game. Luke Thompson had more carries than any other Super League player, 370. James Roby made more dummy half runs than anyone else. He jumped out of dummy half 181 times. Danny Richardson was equal top with Tommy Lee for kicking 40 20s, with 3 kicked across the 23 rounds. He also topped the charts in both goals kicked and goals missed. It runs to form that they led the way in lots of team stats too. Most points scored, 713. Least points conceded, 298. Most tries, 127. Most tackle busts, 930, which is 164 more than next best side, Wakefield. They had the most carries, 4,435, most meters, 32,638, and the most breaks, 186. And that concludes the regular season stat attacks. As always, thanks for listening to this episode of SLP Shorts. Those keen observers keeping track might also have been able to add up that this was the 200th SLP recording, taking into account normal SLP episodes and the new edition of these shorts. That means it's a good time to flag that the 200th SLP proper is coming up in a few short weeks. I'm open to your involvement in that milestone episode, and one of the things we'll be looking for is for you to let us know your favourite SLP memories from the last 200 shows. To get in touch, you can find us at Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/SuperLeaguePod, or it's superleaguepod@gmail.com for email. You can also get more SLP content on our blog, which you can find at superleaguepod.com, and you can find the main weekly show and subscribe through Spreaker, iTunes or YouTube, and on the Podcast Addict app. You can also find us on the LeagueCast Android app with some other top RL listens. You can also go to rugbyleaguemedia.com, where you'll find us amongst a range of alternative rugby league media outlets for your eyes as well as your ears to enjoy. We want to thank you for listening, and until you hear from us again, keep enjoying and supporting the greatest game of all, rugby league.